If I don't feel it, I won't do it, or I won't say it, or I won't share it. I need to feel it and connect with it. A lot of people tell me, hey, how do you become a Salesforce MVP? And I'm just doing myself. I didn't want followers or that kind of thing. I just want to say, hey, this helped me, maybe this can help you. And that started a community.
Welcome to Salesforce Radio, your destination for insights, news, and community connections within the dynamic Salesforce ecosystem.
Okay, very excited today to have Gian Piere Vallejos here at Salesforce Radio, an accomplished Salesforce MVP and developer. And great to get to know you and excited to have you on the show today.
Hey, Ben. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here and try to talk a little bit about this awesome ecosystem and about anything you want to talk, I hope there is no rules about it.
Yeah, there definitely isn't. And if something goes wrong, we always have good post-production for, right?
Yeah,
good editing.
Edition tools.
Exactly. So
nice.
Just to get started, maybe why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and maybe tell us a little bit of your journey into the Salesforce ecosystem. I'm not, we don't really know each other in person. We've spoken a couple of times now, but I know we're both off of nice vacations, so we feel a little bit rejuvenated as we were talking about before, and maybe it's time to start from the beginning. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, well, I'm from Peru, South America, next to Brazil, I guess. So I'm born in Cajamarca, it's the name of the city. And I studied computing science. I really like computers, and code and that kind of abilities, maybe. From the high school, I started to do websites or that kind of things. So I was very into it from the beginning. After finish my career, I started to work as a web developer, try to help organizations with this part of tools to improve their process with websites. And I'm jumped in a company where they need web developers to form into the Salesforce ecosystem because it was like a very, very awesome tool for companies, for bigger companies. But there wasn't a lot of developers for that type of ecosystem, and they start to form us in Salesforce with that. We started with Trahell, with a lot of that kind of things, but the fundamentals of code, what was very important to be, a good Salesforce developer in that time. And that's how I started in Salesforce. Then I start to do the certifications and that type of things. And I read that sharing content, it's a very, very good thing for create a personal brand and get connections and a lot of things. And I started a blog called Snake on Code, where you can find Salesforce content in Spanish, because my target is in Spanish. All of it is in Spanish. And I get together with a friend. His name is Oscar Turkowski. And we start this blog and we start to post a lot of things about it. I start to create my personal brand also in LinkedIn and in Instagram a little bit. And then I started a YouTube channel called Hablemos de Salesforce. It's in Spanish, the name. And I started to record videos. In the beginning, it was about programming, just programming. And then I started to integrate things related to Salesforce and that type of things, I guess. And then I jump between different types of projects in Salesforce, and now I am here.
And so when was it that you started? What year was it when you started in Salesforce?
It was 2018, I guess. 2017, 18. In those years, I started on it. It was different, everything, I guess. I think after the pandemic, everything goes remote, and all connections was by internet. But in that time, it was kind of face-to-face. And here in Peru, there is not too much Salesforce. Well, in those years, there wasn't too much. In South America in general, I guess, now it has grown a lot.
It's interesting because when I speak to a lot of people who are like admins, right, or, people who, they spend their life in Salesforce, a lot of times the story is, before I was doing Salesforce, I was doing, I was working in a call center. Before I was doing Salesforce, I was working in marketing. But for Salesforce developers, it's usually, hey, I was always interested in development, and I, went to school and I, got my undergraduate degree in computer science. And then Salesforce is where I found myself kind of a home within development, and that's kind of the story that people tell. So what was it about Salesforce? You mentioned, how there were certain businesses that were coming onto it, and you felt like you were able to contribute there or something. What was it about Salesforce that you felt connected to, and that you decided, hey, this is a platform that I want to actually devote my resources to as a developer, rather than saying, hey, I'm just going to be a freelance developer. I'm going to, build websites, or I'm going to, do back end for, databases. What made Salesforce a good fit for you?
In that time, all was about to get a career, and many developers was into these popular technologies, and well, I saw like a place where you can grow without limitations, and that's how I decide to go with all my my energy in that part. I knew a few developers that started to jump into Salesforce as well, but we were few of them, in all the country, I guess. Now that I'm more involved in the community of Salesforce, I knew more developers, but in that time we were very few. So we start to realize that the technology goes bigger and bigger in every aspects of the life. It's like in US, everything is more like it happens first and then it replicates in all the parts of the world.
Sure.
So I saw that Salesforce in the US was like very, very huge, and it has a lot of work opportunities. Not only as consultants, as admin, they need developers, and developers with good fundamentals, and as I'm saying, and that's how I got this vision, I guess, that here it is the path we must follow if we want, to get success on jobs. But in that time when I started, I just wanted to have security in terms of money, I guess. I think it was the same for my college, because the part of economy needs that thing for a young person in the beginning to get strong on their desires and convictions and their professional life. And that's how I say, hey, let's go there. And I think I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, it's one thing you said, a few minutes ago. You said, I saw that this was a place where, where there wasn't limits, where there's lots of opportunities. And I think it's funny because a lot of times if you speak to someone who's outside the Salesforce ecosystem, they say, wow, you're really committing yourself to a platform that's very limiting. And you're actually saying the exact opposite. You found a space that you felt was able to allow you to grow, obviously within the platform, and find it. So I guess you mentioned job opportunities being a thing, seeing that there's job opportunities in America for Salesforce, so it makes sense that they'll, trickle over into other markets. From a technical perspective, what made you feel comfortable developing in Salesforce and having, being able to bring that creativity that you had to Salesforce? Because, a developer outside of Salesforce can be doing anything. They could be doing for Salesforce. You're ultimately helping. Your job is to help Salesforce users or organizations that use Salesforce. You're still confined within a system, right? So what made you feel like, hey, from a technical perspective, this is a good fit for me?
In the university, I was involved with, how was the name? Programming contest. It's like developers start to solve some programming problems in a time, and you need to be you need to develop the algorithm well, fast, and it has to work for all the cases. That there are virtual judges that evaluate the code with all these scenarios, and the code must fit with them and must be quickly. And that part, it's a very fun discipline. I think it's like go to the gym for codes, like to practice and practice and practice. And I was very involved with that discipline, and I learned that programming, it's about solving problems. It's not about the technology. It's about how you understand the problem, how you analyze the problem, how you became with solutions by your experience solving similar problems, and how your creativity and your intelligence get a solution for that problem, and how you test that solution when you implement it. So I think code as that part. And with that, when I have something in front of me, I don't see the technology. Sometimes in my free time, I do video games, for example, and it's the same because I saw the basis of these problem solutions. It's not about the tech. And when Salesforce came to me, I didn't saw it as, this is kind of different. It's the same problem, solution, and you get fun with it. And it's about it. Now with with artificial intelligence, with Einstein for developers, you just can say, hey, do me this, and the code was developed. The code, the implementation, but the solution is your mind,
You're right.
And that's why I don't see Salesforce like, this would be very, very different to code in video games or in web development or mobile development. It's just the tool, I'm not playing the guitar, I'm playing the drums,
right?
But I'm doing music. That's the analogy again.
I like that. So for you, when you're in Salesforce, I guess first off, you like the problems that are to be solved in Salesforce. I mean, you have to have some connection to the use cases, to the business processes. Was there a certain project or a certain thing that made you say, wow, this really Salesforce is for me? This is something I love doing. What were some of the early engagements that you had? Like, what were the type of companies you worked with, and what have you found to be really your passion within Salesforce?
Yeah, that's a good question, because in these vacations, I took a month of vacations because I wasn't get vacations in 2 years, because what I was doing, I loved it. And when you love what you're doing, it's like sometimes your mind thinks that doesn't need vacations, but it is. And I was thinking a lot about what type of work I would like to do with my talent and skills, with my code talent skills. And I was in different type of projects, because the type of work that is most rentable for South American developers is to being in these companies that has clients in all the US or Europe, and they put it in different projects, or type consulting. Consulting, I guess it's the sector, because of the type of cost in paying developers. So the American developers are more cheaper than US developers, and with the same hour,
right, same time zone. Yeah,
it's like a business, a very, very good business for both of them, both sides of the business. The problem with that is that you don't choose the project, and me and friends were in different types of projects and different kinds of projects, and sometimes I hate it because it's only money. It's only you must do this, and I think, as I was saying at the beginning, when you are searching only for money, it's good because you are earning a lot of money. But then it's like, what I'm doing with my talents, How about if I try to do something different? And I was thinking about give it a try with not profit projects. It's like a word that I think they don't have too much to pay developers or admins people, but they need this kind of talents, So maybe you don't earn a lot of money, but you can do something that can, give your soul a little bit of more energy. I don't know how to say it. It's kind of difficult to me to express this kind of spiritual things in English, but I don't know if you get my point. It's like maybe these kind of things can work, or maybe
Sure.
I was thinking also in applications that try to build something that helps to society, to kind of things. But for that, I must get out of consulting and try to get the approaching on different things, That part is what I was thinking, I was thinking on those kind of things.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate that, and I'm happy I asked you the question because it's important that the passion is connected to what the ultimate passion is, right? So yeah, you maybe have a passion for development and you have a passion for Salesforce, but hey, this is a big ecosystem. I don't want to just work for some company or some consulting firm that just is paying me, and I have no connection to the client or the cause.
Yeah,
I appreciate that you're that you're aligned in that way, or at least trying to be. It's not always possible. It's not always easy. I think it's a great transition to tell us a little bit of how you became a Salesforce MVP and when you started having like a connection with Salesforce as its own entity rather than just this, piece of software that you work on.
I think it's casuality. I didn't search for it, and a lot of people tell me, hey, how do you become a Salesforce MVP and that kind of stuff. And I think that what I see in MVPs, in MVP friends and people that I met in this environment, it's that anybody of us search for it. It's like it just happens because, well, the Trailblazer community evaluates three things, that it's leadership, experience, and generosity. The two first points you can develop it, but generosity, it's something like it's I don't know even how to define it in this MVP context. It's like I'm just doing myself as how I am. I'm just sharing things. If someone asks me for help, I just helping. I think people do that, For me, maybe not everybody's that, but it's in that way. But I just started to say, hey, I know part of my life I've been developed this muscle of learn about everything. I like to learn about everything. I love to learn about everything. And when I started to try to do a brand in social, I didn't want followers or that kind of thing. I just want to say, hey, this helped me. Maybe this can help you. And that started a community. But I didn't want to get a community. Maybe unconsciously, yes, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about just try to share each other about knowledge, because it's not only me who is sharing, it's everybody, and everybody can have something to do, to share with everybody. And I started to do it when people started me to invite in their communities, in their events. I go just but with the same focus, it's like I going to try to share what it's important for me. And I think honestly it's very important in that part too, because a lot of people want to give you things that don't really feel but we get back with, if I don't feel it, I won't do it, or I won't say it, or I won't share it. I need to feel it and connect with it, But that's how I am. And with the years, with the time, I was nominated with the MVP, where it happens, I was very happy, obviously, because with this, I can connect with more people to do the same that I was doing, to continue sharing things, and so on. So it's like not a goal, but it's an important reward, let's call it, to continue do this bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. And, just kind of transitioning into the now and the present time. What are you looking out for right now within the Salesforce ecosystem? What are some of the trends that you're focused on or excited for and thinking about as we go into, really into the third quarter of 2024?
I'm not doing too much with things related with Salesforce now. I'm more connected with philosophy and spiritual things in my personal life. I was involved with a philosophy school, and I do volunteer work for my community and that kind of stuff. I was thinking on teach lessons for free in Salesforce. It's like I have this and I'm going to give it, but it requires a lot of time. and I would more focus with my community stuff and this kind of thing. And I think I don't have the time to be too much involved with my MVP's responsibilities now. I want to do it, I love it to do it, but I was thinking something in my life came that more spiritual things requires me now, from me now. And then I guess I can reconnect with the things with Salesforce. I like artificial intelligence, but I don't like how people think that it works.
Sure.
And that part influence a lot in how people it's treating Salesforce as a solution, because
Absolutely.
a lot of companies think that Salesforce solves everything, and architects, clients, people with developers ask for everything. And they try to say, hey, but I need this. And the work in the bottom of the code, let's say, but no code, because we are not coding too much anymore too. So in the configurations and stuff in the bottom of Salesforce, it's generating a stress, because the client wants everything. People in the middle wants what the client asks, and we on the bottom are like, we are not wizards. And I think it's because of the idea of technology has grown a lot and it can solve everything. And that's how I'm not too happy with Salesforce nowadays, and that's what I want to try nonprofit and stuff. But if I'm not good with this part, and I'm not good with my spiritual and emotional part in my life, I think I cannot be a very good Salesforce voice for my community. And that's why I'm not doing a lot of things on that part,
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think there's an embodiment there that you're pointing to, which shows, I think why you're a great person to be a spokesperson within this space, because you're looking to combine the spiritual and emotional well-being with, hey, and unless I have that, I'm not going to be able to really help people. I'm not going to be able to really focus on the technology. And I think what you're saying is so true about AI. And I hear it a lot as someone who's selling a product that is for Salesforce. People will come to me and say, oh, well, we assume that you can now do X, Y, and Z because of AI, right? And all of it should be possible. I said, listen, you still got to put in the work. And just like you were saying before, you still have to have the solution in your mind, right? You still need to have the solution. It doesn't matter if you're the greatest coder in the world. The solution still needs to come first. You still need to know what you're doing before you go out the set and create the code and write the software. You need to know what you want to accomplish. And I think that's really really an important lesson, like for anyone, especially going into this world of AI, right? You still need to come up with the prompts, right? For now, you need to decide, right? The AI is not driving us. We're driving the AI. And that's really the important thing here.
Yeah, and there is something there that I forgot. It's that they want it just for now. They want it quickly. It's like you need time to start to solve this. It's an art too, but everybody wanted to. We all are very anxious. We want it for now, and they don't listen. And that part, I think that part is the one that told me, hey, you need vacation. Because it gets very stressed and that and I want to do a visibility with that subject because people, clients, managers, everybody needs to see this because there is a problem with the developer part. I heard a lot of people with me that it's jumping from project to project to project because we don't find something we're not comfortable with that. And managers or clients says, no, I want to pay more to bring talent, but talent don't want more money. They want to work with patience. They want to solve things and do this with love. And I think that's how everything in Salesforce with the IA and everything has become to, like this. There is a disorder with it, I think, for me. It's my opinion on that.
Well, I really appreciate the perspective. It's been a great conversation. I think that, the journey that you've taken is what I would call very organic. It feels very much like you've found a really nice place for yourself within your passions and within this ecosystem. And I think it could be a big inspiration for a lot of people who are looking to further themselves but don't exactly know how. And I think if there's anything, Gian Piere, that you were able to convey in this conversation is wholeness with yourself, spiritual well-being, emotional well-being, and knowing where your passion is. So I really appreciate it. And if people want to follow your content or see some of your old content, where's the best place to do that? Is it on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm very, very active in LinkedIn. Not when I'm in vacations, I get rid of that. But yeah, I daily check my LinkedIn. Search me for with my name, Gian Piere Vallejos. Kind of difficult for Spanish people. Well,
yeah, we can link it. We can link it right in the. We can link it in the comments for this one.
Yeah, I'm in YouTube with Hablemos de Salesforce. Hablemos, it's like let's talk about Salesforce. It's a translate of it. And yeah, LinkedIn. I guess my email too, gian.vallejos92@gmail.com. If you have any questions in everything, I will answer. I promise. I do it actually. And yeah, and let's connect. Yeah, just write me, find me, and let's be friends. That's why this is about,
Gian Piere Vallejos, thank you for joining us at Salesforce Radio. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. See you there. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Salesforce Radio. Don't forget to subscribe for more exciting discussions, expert tips, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders. Stay connected with Titan, plus the power of the planet's leading CRM. See you next time.